Hi, welcome to the history of rock and roll. Let's get this so we can see you better and you can see me better. Alright, my name is Dennis Bozarth and we're going to travel in the history of rock and roll. It should be an extremely enjoyable course because where else can you get credit for listening to music, talking about music, writing about music? In my world, that's about the coolest thing that can happen, to paraphrase Richie Cunningham. It is cool. So, now, if you don't know who Richie Cunningham is, then you might want to look up an old version of Happy Days and see what it was like in the 50s, because that's where we're going. We're going to start out in this first week with the roots of rock and roll. Now, you're going to find an extremely diverse background for rock and roll. Think of rock and roll as a tree. This week, we're underground, we're in the roots. We're looking to see where the tree grows from. And to give you an idea, the rock and roll band Bill Haley and the Comets, their guitar player had priorly played in Benny Goodman's band, who was known as a jazz musician. So we could call jazz one of them. Country western will be one of the areas. Gospel will be one of the areas. There are so many diverse groups that come in together to join into one group called rock and roll. If you want to know why rock and roll came around, well, there was this quiet generation. Who are the quiet generation? Well, they were the people who were between the great generation and the baby boomers. You never hear much about them, but they had such exciting tunes as in 1950, the #1 tune was Goodnight Irene. If you want to know why rock and roll came around, look up Goodnight Irene and listen to it, and you'll understand why they wanted something new and more exciting. Now, for all your parents and grandparents out there who like Goodnight Irene, please don't tell them the way I talked about it. But anyway, so let's go ahead now. You're going to go back and you're going to look at the roots. You're going to tell me about it. Now, you'll notice I've written a paper for you to read also on each week, but it has tips on what to do this week. You have to keep in mind that in this time period during this week, there were no videos. There was no television. You listened to music on the radio. If you wanted to see the performer, you actually had to go to a performance. That was it. Occasionally, very, very occasionally, musicians would be in movies for maybe a little short time. All music at this time was about 3 minutes long. The reason all pop tunes of that time era were 3 minutes long is because that's all the longer the recording process would have enough wax to use. So, think of 3-minute pop tunes, think of 3-minute rock and roll tunes. It doesn't change until we get to the Beatles. Okay, now, what I want you to do this first week in class, I want you to read and see where the background is, the roots, decide what kind of music you like. Listen to the samples. Now, where are you going to listen to the samples? Well, what you do, you go to YouTube, go to the computer. You listen to music off the computer all the time. You probably know more music sites than I do. Find the sites. Look up, pick a tune, put it on the computer, find it. Find the name of it. If you still can't find them, then send me a message and say, I can't find it, could you direct me to a site? There's a great site that I use that has a jukebox on it. If you could look up jukebox, and you'll find that it has the top 100 tunes from 1950s up until the 1990s. Okay, so that'll tell you the top 100 tunes for all those years, and you can listen to them. Now, notice you'll listen to them. You won't see them like a video thing, because television is not going to come around for a while. And when that does, that will definitely have an impact on rock and roll will definitely have an impact on television. And we'll talk about that, the social issues that occur with that. But for now, you're just listening to a radio, a little radio, maybe. Or maybe your family's radio in the living room. Are you following me? Things were different in those days. Read the little note that I read and you'll see it. So you look at the roots, you follow about it, you write that on your paper. You also discuss then on your discussion page, what music do you like? Tell us a little bit about yourselves. I have such a wide range of music that I would be talking for the whole time if I told you all my different loves of music. But what you're going to do is tell us songs you like. Give us your 5 favorite songs. Tell us a little bit about them. And then that's on your discussion page. That has to be posted by Thursday at midnight. Okay, so you start the discussion. There are rules on that. Read that. Post it by midnight Thursday night. You can also then come on later all the way up until Sunday midnight and make comments about other people's comments. Get to know your classmates. Know who they are. See what they're saying. And you don't have to agree with each other, but be polite and courteous with each other. You won't all like the same music. If we all like the same music, there would be no reason for this course. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about the aha moment. What is it? The aha moment means once in a while in a class, you'll come to a place that you'll say, wow, I didn't realize that. Or it'll be a moment of enlightenment in which something that just completely new, just blew you off your feet. Okay? Tell us about that. Those are exciting moments for me, for the aha moments. I have found lots in this class. In one prior music class, they were talking about whether the devil led a choir in heaven. That one got me to thinking. If you're wondering about that, it's supposedly in the book of Ezekiel or the Bible. Okay, you get the idea what we're going to do in this course. We will have a lot of fun. Now, you will be graded. I have put a rubric on the site for you to look at. What I would do with the rubric, when you get ready to write your paper, I would read the rubric first. See what I want from your papers. Then, after you write your paper, go back and grade your paper with the rubric yourself. You don't have to put your grade on, but see what you think you could change or correct. Then correct it, then post it, and then I will use the rubric, and I will also post comments throughout your paper. Okay, so we've got this first week. We got the paper to write, but first start out with the discussion. Get the discussion rolling. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. And if I ask your opinion, there are no wrong answers. It is your opinion. It depends how you say it and how you phrase it. That's the way the course goes. And if I enjoy music as much, I hope you do too. The way I look at it is, what greater thing could you have happen to you than to get music credit, college credit, for listening to music, writing about music, not writing music, writing about music, just immersing yourself in music and the times. To quote Richie Cunningham from Happy Days, that is so cool. All right, and I'll talk to you next week. Good luck, and let's hope I get this one posted. Thank you.